Hey everybody. We're back for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Houston, Here Comes the Problem, season 6, episode 28. So, um, First of all, like always, thank y'all for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. All right, so let's just get into it. So back to the double date with Tisha, Marceau, Stormy, and Courtney. They're still on the bitch word bullshit. I'm over it already. We don't care. All right, Stormy walks out and Marceau keeps talking like she didn't walk away. Then Stormy explains how she was mad that his condescending comment about her culture, um, and that's what pissed her off. First off, I'm gonna be honest, I was confused. Like, ain't y'all both black and from the South? What you mean in her culture? What does that even mean, Marceau? Like, I don't care. This double date idea was stupid, Stormy, and it's your fault because you came up with it. You don't like Marceau. You call him a bitch, and he does act like one. Why even set this thing up? Like, why? Because you want to be on TV and it's not helping you. I'm telling you, it's not helping. I would never buy from Canvas Beauty. Now, granted, I ain't somebody that's sitting in the mirror all the time neither, but you make me not want to like you. And yes, it's your fault, Stormy. Anyway, so the level of delusion though was killing me with Marceau and Tisha. In the confessional, it was just getting me. So Tisha never has anything to say when Marceau brings up the fact that Stormy has called him a bitch, or she doesn't have much to say. Probably because she thinks that too at this point. But then in her weak ass attempt to get bucked in the confessional and come rushing to her bitch ass husband's side, she was like, well, Stormy likes to hear herself talk, but she doesn't like it when you call her out on her stuff. Like, say what? That's not connected to nothing, no way. What is going on? So then they have the nerve to act mad that Stormy is leaving. Y'all came an hour and a half late in that one horse buggy town. Okay, and y'all didn't apologize for being late. Didn't say, "Hey, we got caught up." The kids didn't even respect them enough to make up an excuse. Okay, and y'all both sitting in the confessional talking about y'all don't understand why she even invited us. If they were gonna leave, y'all some dumb motherfuckers. Okay, and Tisha, please next time get a dress that will fit appropriately when you sit down in the confessional. Let me tell you something. I am hippie. I'm a big girl. It is what it is. And I know, and like I said the other week, it's not like it used to be. Because it used to be really hard to find like plus size clothes that actually didn't look like, they didn't look so much older than you. Like that was the way like it had been for a long time. But like fashion has come up, and I just feel like Tisha, you're forcing your body into stuff that can't be comfortable. It can't be. Just wear some stuff that just. And while we on it, Stormy. I don't care if I brought it up last week. I'm bringing it up again. That zebra get up that had you looking stuffed as always. You know who I realized Stormy looked like? I've never even seen the movie the whole way through because it's trash to me. I'm not here for it. Um, but I realized who Stormy looks like. I've seen this part though. This part, and I tried to get through the other parts. I couldn't do it. The Wiz. Do you remember when Michael Jackson, the Scarecrow, and he's singing "You Can't Win" because that's a bop. And do you remember the scarecrows or whatever kind of ghetto crows those were, and the nose of those people and how weird it looked, and they were doing. That's what Stormy looks like, and it came to me just like that, and I said, "That's what she looks like." Yo, anyway, so her in that zebra get up and that teenage rap, you know, the kind you have when you first start learning how to do your hair for real as a teenager, and you was wrapping it up, you know, so you could brush it out in the morning, keep the heat off your hair a couple times a week. Never mind, Storm. I don't have the energy for you. I don't. Because we see you too much in this episode anyway. Kimmy and Maurice. So Kimmy invites the sex therapist over without telling Maurice. Because we all know the Scott men are very good at apparently leaving their women when they need them most in more ways than one, and probably would have not shown himself had she told him. Anyway, he keeps telling her that her issue with sex is mental. as opposed to directly related to her post-cancer treatment and the chemotherapy that she's been through. And that's the shit that's pissing me off. Okay, that's really pissing me off. And like I said, as a mother who has gone through that, that is some of the most difficult, the level of difficulty and toll it takes on a woman's body, or anybody's body who's going through cancer, but particularly women. Like, Maurice needs to be fucking punched in his face 17 times. Like, it's really getting under my fucking skin. All right? He's an insensitive asshole. And Kimmy, I'm bothered that you have continued to go on and on about this and look for ways to improve for him while he's being a piece of shit. Okay? Because Kimmy is a nurse. You can't explain the science of how this chemotherapy works. And if you did, which I suspect you have, and he's acting like this isn't the move, Kimmy. You deserve better. And I would say that to any woman talking like you are right now. Whether I liked him or not, whether it was Stormy, Tisha, Kiki, or anybody else I knew, I would still say you deserve better. Because you do. All right? So Kimmy thinks their intimacy is at a 4. Maurice says they're at like a 2 or 3. When a doctor asks Kimmy, do you think that he's insensitive to your condition after chemotherapy? And she was basically like, I don't know if it's that, started making excuses immediately. And that question to me implied that the doctor thought what I thought. And that the doctor is definitely, because at the point in which the doctor is saying insensitive, she's already implying there's something else going on. But okay, Kimmy. So the doctor suggests that the intimacy is the issue and it's going to take time and patience. Isn't that what the fuck Kimmy said to him? This is just going to take time. This is part of the process. Like, it's pissing me off. Chemotherapy does have a devastating effect on the body. For better or for fucking worse. Maurice. Son of a bitch. You should be happy she just alive. So they go and meet at the smokehouse. I just knew they were going to go to Longhorn. I mean, and I like Longhorn, but I'm just saying, like, for people who got so much, I'm just saying. So Nell and Chris are heading up the event, which, okay, fine. So they brought these pilgrim hats for the women. And I know I cannot be the only one who saw what they were trying to pass off. They're trying to convince us that are cowboy hats. It looks like the kind of hat you buy on that, what's that little orange website, Temu, or whatever the hell it is, that people be buying stuff on. I have not bought anything, but I know anything that cheap can't be trusted. And you think you're getting one thing and then you get another. That's what those hats were given. For the women, those were not cowboy hats. Those were pilgrim hats. Like, it was given very, very old school, elementary school, pilgrim hat, play going on in the cafeteria. Like, it was given that. Anyway, so everybody's showing up, and Mel came in, straight killing the fashions, glowing, just doing her thing. Martell walks in right after her, which I thought was just going to show enough lead to a disaster, but it didn't. So they have these pilgrim / cowboy hats on because they're planning a trip to Houston. Fine, okay, but you would have thought they said Mexico City or Bogota, hell, even Atlanta, and fuck the hats, okay? That is down the street, okay? Just stop. Just, like, what? Anyway, so Mel wants to be away from Martell. Understood. Okay, the fact that she isn't feeling safe with Martell, to me, is troublesome. And I think inviting both of them on a trip where you know everybody's going to be in the same house is shame on Nell and Fletcher for that. I'm sorry. And we can say, oh, what's the other way around? I don't know. Perhaps a fucking hotel where people could have their automatic locks and that kind of shit. And y'all meet up for stuff or not meet up for stuff. When it's just giving, for me. Okay? Anyway, so Nell tells everybody she's not going to take no for an answer, I guess, because they done already paid for the tickets. And Marcel was like, we getting flued out. And I'm like, y'all some cheap bastards. I mean, yeah, if somebody's having a trip, they should pay for it. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that you up there with bated breath about somebody else paying for it. Anyway. So they point out that Stormy and Courtney aren't as excited or seeming to say anything. Kimmy was like, but y'all are good now in front of everybody. Bitch, that was not your place or your business. And Kimmy, I'm trying to keep it cute with you because I like you, but these days, you are giving pick me. I'm not going to say these days. These episodes, you've been giving pick me energy. And I'm concerned. Anyway, so Tisha has apparently told Kimmy some half-ass story, and Stormy left that double date very clear about where she stood in terms of not fucking with them. Okay, whatever. We are over this storyline because now it just looks like a bunch of people going back and forth about a whole lot of nothing. So Tisha, why are you mad that Stormy was talking to Nell about the website issue? Why? Why are you upset? Wasn't there a whole fallout on the internet about this? And everybody knew anyway? Shut the fuck up. Okay. I'm so over this situation. And Tisha, you are giving delusional. I honestly think Courtney is over the whole situation. And when I say over it, and by the situation, I mean this whole reality show itself. I think that's purposely why he gets so quiet when the camera's around. I think he wants them to ask him not to come back on. So he has a reason to not be around Stormy on this show. Is it me though? Tisha's body language when Marceau talked this entire episode, be it the confessional or actually like around him, was giving weird. Like concerning weird. Not like just awkward. No, like concern. I don't know. Something was off. So the men start talking at a separate table, and Marceau said, I think we can have a good time as long as we keep the men and women separate. Wow, the men act like women. Anyway. All right. And Martell said he doesn't have a woman, so it won't be hard. Maurice goes, well, you're not bringing in any imports? And he said, Maurice, never mind, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Nope, I'm not going to do it. All right. He said he needs to, and he has some out there. Basically, I could if I wanted to. So then comes Fletcher's messy, fine ass, okay? And says, not only do you not have a woman, she don't even have your name no more. I said, damn. Fletcher, where'd that come from? I mean, it's true and everything, but why you... Damn. He been waiting to say that. I'd be like, that's something he been waiting to say. So, and he just eating and comfortable and drinking his beer and going on about his business. But he hadn't been drinking long before that. That was something he had been waiting to say. Then Martell's lying ass said, well, that's the way it should be, basically, because they're divorced. And even Maurice was like, nah, you used to make a big deal out of the Holtz. Like, so don't try to act like it don't bother you. But Fletcher wasn't through. Okay, he turns to Courtney and said, oh, she changed her name and had a whole ceremony and everything. I said, damn. Sir, you are on one. Then Martell's girly ass sitting there like, see, y'all support that dumb shit. It's not dumb. She don't want you. She done with you. You got a chip on your shoulder, okay? And you got your nerve. Anyway, so then we go to Nell. And I was expecting Nell to be on more bullshit than she was this episode. Because I'm already anticipating the preview of when she was like, Mel, did you cheat on him or not? And that has pissed me off since the beginning of the second half of this season of whatever. So anyway, but y'all know I'm not here for Nell like that. So you can tell she is one of those older people that has tried too hard to keep up with the lingo and shit and is purposely being messy for the camera. And it's a turn off for me. But I will say this episode, that was not true. So that's a plus for her. So is it me or does Mel look like she could be Nell's daughter? Like she looks more like Nell than Nell's other children. I'm just saying. Mel looks just like her mother. But she also looks just like Nell. Anyway, so she asked her how she feels about the trip. And she says she says she has concerns about the trip and says she needs them to keep her as far away from Martell as possible. And she says she wants a lock on her door. She was like, for comfortability. This is what I mean by concerning, by inviting both of them. because I don't think she's joking. And the fact that feels like she needs an extra lock on her door to be comfortable. Y'all should have checked all this shit out before y'all did that. And we could say they both had the choice not to go, or it's a show. I don't care. I don't. I don't. All right, so now gets on the bull. You know, the bull you ride, and she held her own. I said, okay then. I got to give it to her. All right. All right. I said, because most people can't do that. I've never tried to, but I don't know if I could do it. First of all, I'm concerned about how sore you be when you, never mind. So who in the production room gave the cast members them cowboy names? I can't. So anyway, they get to Houston. We missed the whole airport trip because this ain't no Bravo show. We missed the whole airport camera footage and all that. So they rent out a house in the backwoods of Houston. Nell's first priority, she said, was to put Mel in a place of the house where she felt safe. Why couldn't they just go to a hotel? And they out in the country. Which means you can run, but you can't hide. Like, come on. Come on. So, Mel is the first guest. She comes through. She asks about her room. And Fletcher starts fucking with her. Like, oh, yeah, we all gonna be staying together. Y'all. And she made it clear, and I'm glad she did, that she doesn't want to be partnered with him on anything. Don't try to do that. Don't try to play those games. Because at this point, it's not a joke. And it's not. Because they've been divorced for years now. And the pain is still, I'm sure, raw. Because they're in court, or were in court, with custody and all of that. With 4 children. Martell is an asshole. Martell was trying to, like, release a sex tape. And do things that are really hurtful and harmful to Mel from their marriage. Like, and it's not funny. Fletcher, it's not. It's not a joke. So Martell walks in right after her. Well, not right after her, but he's the second person to show up. And he spoke to her. She chucked the deuces. And Martell is in the confessional saying it doesn't bother him to see her or to speak to her. And I was thinking to myself, it shouldn't. You're the one that's hurt her, not the other way around. And he was like, well, it doesn't hurt just to speak to somebody, this, that, and the other. I was thinking to myself, it may. Maybe ignoring you is what she needs to do to feel strong right now. All right, anyway. Haven't y'all been in court battle? Like, I can't. Side note, can I just say, Nell looks better without all that makeup on. Like, a whole lot better. And it's easy to kind of see her as the maternal figure. By the maternal figure, I mean, like, within the group. When she's looking like that. Not because she looks older, but because, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a costume for whatever she's trying to appear as. But that's just me. So, Kimmy and Maurice are talking in the bedroom. I'm over scenes with them. She talks about them doing their therapy homework. Then the conversation went left. Maurice's comments were all over the internet about having sex with his wife who was dealing with breast cancer. And she was like, it's hurtful and it doesn't protect me. I am bothered she had to explain that to him at all. Why would that even come out of your fucking mouth? Can you imagine what he must say to his friends in private? I had never really seen the interview. I think I had saw like a piece of like whatever a clip was to anybody else. And I was just like there's no excuse, like none. And he was sitting on the bed smirking when she was talking about it. His description of her sex life and their sex life sounded like marital rape. And the first time I ever heard that term, well, I didn't hear it, I read it. It was a sign reading. In ADW, shout out to my Southern sisters. African diaspora in the world. And I was like, I guess that is. And it was still, because I'm like 18, 19 years old, still just now understanding like what really forced sex is and how it does count, even when you're married. And it sounded like it would have been rape under other circumstances, but it just sounded like marital rape. And Kimmy was like, well, he needs to apologize to her mother and her family. He was like, well, I thought as long as I apologize to my wife. My thing is, he's too goddamn old to not know better. You shouldn't be talking like that at 25, let alone 40 plus. I'm not here for it. I'm not. And Kimmy, you keep letting him off the hook. Now, granted, we don't know what goes on in your house, but based on what we see, I'm over it. So Tisha and Marceau are in the next room because they all sharing the bathroom. All right. And they were talking about the Whitlows. We don't care. The whack ass Whitlows, we just glad they gone. So she said she ran into Tiffany while they were shopping. And she said, I just asked her, I guess where she had been or whatever. She was like, postpartum is real. I'm not going to even get on how I feel about her using that as, never mind. So then she said she saw her with baby Ace and how cute he was. And speaking of baby Ace, she brought up the pregnancy test, which was stupid. First of all, Tisha, you a dumbass for one, not so much for taking a pregnancy test, because a woman should do that whenever a woman feels like it, but for going to a certain kind of spa and then insisting that you take one just in case, as if you are not perfectly capable of going somewhere, buying a pregnancy test, hell, going to a public restroom and waiting for it. I don't care if you, or taking out your trash at home, whatever you have to do, cut it out, okay? Cut it, all right? And that was stupid to tell him. It was stupid that Kimmy even thought that was enough of her business to tell you, well, you need to tell him. Fuck him. Anyway, so then Marceau was like, well, if you were pregnant, the first thing I wouldn't think was the vasectomy didn't work. I would ask for a blood test. Then Tisha gets mad about how disrespectful he's being. I'm like, well, he always been disrespectful, but I'm glad you getting some gumption about yourself. The Scott brothers were clearly competing in this episode for who could be the biggest asshole. I'm gonna have to give it to Maurice, probably by a hair. Okay. Anyway, but when Marceau said, "Is this how you feel when I talk to you?" Because wow, I feel gaslit. If she is, then motherfucker, we don't care because you overdue. And then they gonna sit at a dinner table and make it everybody's business. Both of them, I just don't know. That they almost seem like they have come to some kind of agreement that they about to end their marriage. I don't know what makes me feel that way because both of them seem very checked out from each other. But that's just me. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Tomorrow's my birthday, but I'm taking it easy. I will see y'all for Potomac. All right, bye.